We are back on MorningLine. Thanks for joining us. Talking about bail bond reform with Mark Woodside, Melton Bonding Company. And there's reform going on. It's already taking place. And that's what we're talking about here in Tennessee. And the fact that, you know, the pretrial release and some of this in an effort to try to get nonviolent offenders and folks waiting who can't afford to make bond out. But at the same time, you see a lot of drug dealers getting out?
Yes. Felony drug offenses.
Felony drug offenses. Now, that technically is not necessarily a violent crime, but, you know, they're dealing in narcotics, and it's on the streets, and it's a bad thing.
And there are a lot of them that are in possession of a weapon when they're arrested. Those charges are pre-trialed as well.
Typically, then, for them to get out, they would, if they didn't have pre-trial, they'd have to come to you.
Yes.
And we talked during the break about this. Does it matter where their money comes from when they're posting?
We really don't delve into where the money comes from. Usually, we receive our money from the co-signer, which might be the person that's charged, his mom, his dad, grandmother, who are typically law-abiding citizens.
Yeah. I don't know if you have any statistics. Can you give the viewers an idea, like in Davidson County at any one time, how many people are out on bond? I mean, are we talking thousands?
Thousands.
Thousands of people out on bond. That is what's amazing.
I mean, that would be pre-trial, ROR, and bond collective. You know, everyone.
Okay. Let's get some more calls. Let's see. We're going to go to 6 and Daniel. I think he's an attorney. Good morning, Daniel.
Morning here.
How are you? Shoot.
I'm pretty good. How you doing?
Good. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I got a question for Mark Woodside.
Okay.
I was tuning in and watching, I guess, him appear on your channel last week, and I saw Darren Hall get on the other day here.
Yep.
And what I'm wondering is, would Mr. Woodside and I guess Mr. Hall be willing to have like a 30-minute debate just to speak on the issues directly, rather than just go back and forth with one appearing on a news segment, one another segment? I don't know. I think that'd be the most healthy way to address this subject. But I want to know what Mark Woodside thinks.
Okay. I don't know. Would you want to debate him or talk to him about the issues? Have you talked to the sheriff in person yourself?
No, I have not.
No. Okay. And I don't know. And the sheriff's a very busy guy, and it's not a campaign thing. I mean, it might be possible to have the two of you on a show at the same time if you were both willing to come on at the same time.
I would be.
I assume there's no animosity. I would not be surprised if the sheriff would agree to that. That's not a bad idea to do it that way, to lay them both out, you know, and let you guys go counterpoint along those lines.
No, I would love to, and in regard to the animosity, I don't take this personal.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't sense any animosity from the sheriff either.
I've known Darren for 30 years. I think he's been a good sheriff. He's done a good job. But you can't be right 100% of the time, and unfortunately, Darren's on the wrong side of this issue. He's wrong.
Okay.
And anytime you take something from one extreme to another, I believe that's wrong. We all need to reach a middle ground.
All right, let's go to Grady. Grady, good morning.
Good morning, Nick, Mark. You know, I recently heard of a person being convicted of a crime 156 times. Now, how in the world does this fellow get out and get to convict more crimes? You know, it used to be they had 3 strikes and you're out. But, you know, 156 times, somebody's let him out of jail, and, you know, he's convicted more crimes. I'd like to hear your opinion on it. I hang up with.
Yeah, we've seen some of these cases of folks. I don't know that necessarily has anything to do with you guys bonding him out. This is a guy who just commits more petty crimes, and he's over and over again. The issue there, I think, is his mental health.
Very possible, or alcohol drug issue, which would be dovetailed in with a mental problem.
Now, I don't know. Does it come into play? Do you guys evaluate yourself when you're deciding whether to post a bond for someone, their mental health issue, or is that they come to you? Do you not care as long as they pay up, even though I know you said with certain crimes you're not going to do it?
No, I think that is at least a variable in the equation, because
are they likely to show up?
Exactly. Yeah. Are they going to remember? Are they going to have the clarity to remember that I've got a court date? Or, you know, we take it on an individual case-by-case basis.
What's it like when someone is arrested? You go and meet with them. I guess I've seen in the jails, they've got the list of bonding agents there on the wall, and they try to rotate it to make it as fair as possible, so it's not always the same name at the top of the list. And so they'll call you, and then do you guys go meet with them behind bars?
Typically, we do it by phone.
Okay, you'll get on the phone.
Then, maybe we'll contact a family member or a friend, and then we talk to them and gather more information than we do actually from the defendant.
Yeah. Do most of the defendants, if they're not regular offenders, are they familiar with the bonding system? You kind of have to lay it out and explain, look, your bond, sir, is $5,000. If you don't have that $5 grand, you're going to have to pay me $500, which is going to be my fee, and I'll post the rest of it, but then you're going to have to make sure you show up.
That typically is a conversation that we have with people who have never been involved in the system.
Okay, but most of them otherwise know
Most of them, they understand, they know it.
Yeah.
So it's really not an issue.
Has it always been 10%?
Yes.
In all your years? That's basically what it is? 10%? I just didn't know if that has changed or not. Let's go to Ronnie. Hi, Ronnie. Good morning to you, Ronnie.
Good morning. I got a couple of short questions.
Okay.
About, okay, you get a court date and you get bonded out. Okay, but this is a hypothetical question. You get a court date and they put a date on it, and it's the wrong date. You show up in court, and like you go the 3rd, and they put the 14th, and they violate your bond. What do they do about that?
You mean if there's a clerical error that they made the mistake, if they made a mistake?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, did that happen to you? I would assume if they made a mistake, they'd give you another chance.
Well, I went to court over a dog, but I didn't get jail, but they gave me a wrong court date. But I took care of it, but, you know, stuff like that happens.
Okay. All right. Yeah, there's probably mistakes. What's your other question?
And my other question, I believe they got too many felonies on everything. The only thing that needs to be felony is rape, murder, and stuff like that. The rest of it needs to be to go through mental health.
Well, you know, the sheriff might agree with that on the mental health issue. Yeah, with regard to felonies or misdemeanors, I mean, you'll post bonds on misdemeanors, won't you?
Yes, sir. Misdemeanor, felony, just whatever.
Yeah, typically, obviously, felony a lot higher bond?
Historically, maybe.
Really?
Now, that really doesn't change the bond amount as much as you would think.
It's interesting, too. You're telling me that there's no real clear-cut criteria for the amount of bond. It can vary from magistrate to magistrate, and the lion's share, besides the giant ones we always hear about for the really most serious crimes, the lowest bond is $500?
Usually $500.
Do you post a lot of those?
Some.
Okay. I mean, on that, it's like if someone doesn't have $500, they just pay you $50.
Well, for us, it would be $87. It's the 10%, an administrative fee, and a $12 state tax that we pay directly to the Department of Revenue.
Oh, okay. So it'd be something like that. But so from 500 up to what? I mean,
on average, less than 25,000.
25,000, less than that.
Bonds over that typically are not as usual.
And typically a successful company like yours that's been in business for a long time could at any one time have several hundred folks out on bond?
Not several hundred.
Okay.
Again, our numbers have decreased dramatically.
Have you guys had to lay people off? Or are you
everyone that works at my company has another job.
Really?
Everyone, yes.
Because was there a time when they could have just the job with you, and
yes,
it's just gotten to the point now where it's now
has become a secondary income for the majority.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that a symptom exclusively of the reform, or is it also that there's just more bonding agents competition?
It's a combination of the two.
Okay.
With the reform, the number of hypothetically before the reform, say my company might make 10 bonds a week.
Okay. Since
the reform, my company might make 10 bonds a month.
Interesting.
So it's been a dramatic decrease.
That is a dramatic decrease. Holy cow. All right, let's go to Raymond. Hi, Raymond. Good morning. Are you there, Raymond?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I got a question. I know some bondsmen have bonded some people out, and I don't think they have to hell, and that guy probably can answer the question. I don't think they have to hell. They can hire anybody they want to as bounty hunters to go hunt these people down and get them back and give them the same authority as the police got, because there was some bondsmen that bounty hunters working for bondsmen broke into the wrong home down in Giles County here a few years ago.
I remember that.
Hunting some guy, and they went in the wrong house. And who's liable for that? I mean, you know, you're giving these people that are, some of them are corrupt police officers that work for bondsmen. Anybody can go to work as a bounty hunter, my understanding, with no background check or regulators, if that bondsman want to hire them, and you're just giving thugs the ability to go out and break in people's houses, hunt on.
Let's see, what do you think? I mean, yeah, it's interesting that he brings that up because, as you were saying, you guys have some of the police powers with that certificate that you have to bring them in. And so, and he's right. There've been more than one case where, these folks seeking someone have hit the wrong house or shook up some folks that were innocent.
Well, he asked a question of liability. Yeah. Ultimately, the bail bonding company would still be responsible for, they assume the liability. And two, and hiring anybody, that has changed. For a person to be a bounty hunter now, they have to go to 8 hours continuing education, go through a background check, make sure they don't have any felony or any kind of felony record. So there is some regulation that has changed in the past few years.
Do you have folks when you, and you don't need a bounty hunter that often, is it someone that you had on staff, or if you need one, you know where to call to bring in someone that you're familiar with?
We typically handle it in-house. Okay. The people that work at the company.
So you guys go about doing that. And have you done that before? Have you gone out there?
Yes.
Is that interesting?
It can be. It can be dangerous.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, when you go out to do this, are you wearing a bulletproof vest and you're bringing a weapon?
Bringing a weapon. I didn't wear a bulletproof vest, but it can be a very dangerous situation.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. On that note, we'll take a break, come back with more calls, our final segment with our guest right after this. Stay with us. Yeah.